Hello then, welcome to Agritalk right here on KTN Farmers TV. My name is Kelvin Nyakundi. Now this is another edition where we'll be speaking about honey extraction. We'll also be speaking about some of the products that come from honey. And today here we have a display of different products and we'll get to know what each of them does. And joining us is Kyalo Mutua, who is aka King of Bees. He calls himself King of Bees and he's known as the King of Bees. He'll tell us why. He's the CEO Savannah Honey, where they produce different products when it comes to a cream, soap, when it comes to also some tablets that you can take in order for you to just make yourself, maybe if you're feeling sick, you have tablets for the particular sickness. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, yes, thank you.
All right. So when we think about honey extraction,
yes,
most of the time we usually think about you go to the hive, get the combs out, get the honey, and then you go to the market and sell them.
Yes.
But you have done it a different way.
Yes.
And just explain to us so that we may understand how this journey started and what really prompted for you to look at this other side of bees that is more profitable.
Yes. Yes. We started this program some 10 years back. And personally, I'm a trained urban planner. I worked with the government as a fiscal planner. Actually, I was the district fiscal planner for Turkana for several years. But then somebody who knew where I come from, that is in Ukampani, just came to me and told me, man, can you get me some pollen? One of my friends wants a lot of pollen. Then I told him, what is pollen? And he said, pollen is one of the byproducts for beekeeping that can give you a lot of money. And he said his friend was taking his pollen to Netherlands and he was buying a kilogram at around 23,000 per kilogram. And so you see, that thing really struck me. And I was like, oh, I would wish to learn this. And when I learned that, I got some hives. I put them. Within a very short period, the guy paid me and some handsome, money. And within a short period again, I now increased the beehives. And then after some time now, I saw the potential that is in modern beekeeping. That it's not only about the honey. It's all about honey is of the largest production, but of the lowest value. Now there is the pollen, there is the propolis, there is the royal jelly, there is the venom, there is the wax. And that's what actually prompted me to resign. And why I resigned actually was that we got the demand for these products was getting higher than the way I could deliver. And so now we are now to find a system of getting more farmers. We contract them so that now we can meet the demand for this particular buyer. And so through that, now we went ahead now to have now registered Savannah Honey. And for the last 10 years, we have been handling the entire beekeeping value chain.
Okay.
That includes all the equipment, the delivery, the installation. Actually, somebody buying equipment from us doesn't need to come for them from the office. Us will deliver. We'll as well go ahead to have them delivered by an apiarist. This is somebody who knows what we call citation. Will come there, do citation, place the beehive the way it's supposed to be. Many people think the beehive will just place it anyway until you get the bees. But our apiarist will come, look at the direction of the wind, and now place it in a way that it will attract the bees very fast. In addition to that, of course, our hives are already treated to mean that they will just attract the bees very fast. And more to that, we also now offering technical support, meaning that we don't just sell the hive and that's the end of it. We would sell you the hive, follow it to ensure that it's colonized. And if any hive is not colonized within 90 days, we'd be able to do to you what we call colon division. This is a new technique nowadays of making a new queen. When a hive delays to get bees, yet when we are just, instead of just saying we are waiting on God, when we are still waiting on God to bring bees, we go ahead now to make a queen. And to make a queen in Kenya is around 9,000. But now for Savannah Honey clients, it's free of charge. again, we go right now to look at the strength of your colony. That beehive, how many bees you have. Because many times you see a client having their hives, he has got, say, 10 hives, he went harvesting, then he tells you, I just got 3 ready or 5 ready. The others were not ready because of the number of the workers. Because a hive should have between 60,000 to 90,000 bees. Anytime your hive has got less than 30,000 bees, then we say that colony is very weak. And I will come and do for you what we call colony strengthening.
All right, hold it right there. Let me
Right.
take you back a little bit before we
Yes.
get so much deep into this.
Yes.
So now, when you look at the structure of the hive, and when you look at the environment under which the bees are supposed to be kept,
Right.
explain to us what goes into that. Can you come to a place, any place, and say,
Yes.
okay, this is where I want to set up my hive, like today where we are sitting?
Yes.
Can you just come and say, okay, this environment looks good, it has leaves, it has some flowers, I can set my hive here. So what goes into a farmer, because a farmer watching would say, okay, so what goes into me looking at the environment,
Yes.
saying this is the right place to make sure that my hives thrive in this place?
Yeah, the most important thing, and what we advise our farmers, is just to ensure that it's an environment that the hives will not be, will not be interfered with by anything. And what we advise our farmers most of the time is that even if they don't have a big farm, a big shamba, let them have the hives, but then put them in a corner or in a place, and then they enclose them, either with used mabati, hof carts, or anything that will ensure that goats, cows, children are not just intruding. And you see, the beautiful thing is that bees travel 4 kilometers radius for forage. Meaning, even if you have got a small farm, there's no problem, because bees will go to your neighbors' farms and collect nectar.
Yes.
And therefore, most of the time we don't regard the size of the farm. We don't regard whether it's dry or whether you've planted trees or not. Why? Because these bees will get forage from all over. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And also, now, let's look at this other side of
Yes.
keeping bees and
Yes.
not necessarily depending on the honey. You're
Yes.
depending on the propolis, you're depending on the pollen.
Yes.
How is it, what goes into this? How
All right.
does a farmer prepare themselves for this? Okay, and you want to convince a farmer, okay, you will keep bees, but don't focus on the honey. The honey is there, yes, but now focus on this other side.
Yes. What we have done, we have managed to have many of our farmers know that it's not only about honey. And also what we have done on that is to ensure that they get the right, we train them. And this is after now somebody has bought the equipment from us, we now give them a contract for 5 years. We contract them for 5 years, that in the 5 years, they will have all the technical support services free of charge. Then again, more to that, we'll of course give them all the training. For instance, now, many farmers who don't know anything about bee pollen, don't know anything about propolis,
Yes.
and all these other products. So it is our duty to train them on their farms free of charge on how to do it. And actually how we do it is that all the harvests for the first time, we do it free of charge. Or the harvest for honey, for the pollen and all that, so that we can train their client or their guys, or the guy who wants all the beehives. And as a result of that, you realize that now they pick the skills, then they continue very comfortably for 5 years, us buying from them. And if I could mention, I think it's good for me to mention that we have our contracted farmers who now we get now the honey from them. If I could start from the honey, and just to make it for them now to see it very clearly, we are using now what we call the Langstroth beehive. I think I can start from there.
Yes.
Now we are using what we are calling the Langstroth hive.
Which is this?
This one
Yes,
now.
yes.
Now the Langstroth hive has got an advantage, that it has got 2 boxes, as you can see.
Yes.
And it is separated in between by what we call a queen excluder. This could be a wire mesh, could be steel mesh, or could even be plastic mesh like what you have here. And the beauty about having the two boxes is to avoid the four main challenges that affect the beekeepers in the traditional beekeeping. Which, when you are using a log hive, just the local beehive in the village. Yes, the local beehive in the village has got four main challenges. I think I could start from there. So
yeah, start from there, because I was about to ask, so when it comes to the rural areas, because people use the log hive.
Yes.
So how do they go about it?
Yes. The log hive has got four main challenges.
Yes.
That for you to get honey, you must get your knife and cut the combs. When you cut the combs, you must crush them for you to get the honey. The challenge is that when you cut the combs, bees must come again and start from square zero.
Yes.
And it takes 10 times the time it takes to make honey, it takes 10 times to make combs. And what it means is that wastage of time. And then number two, the main challenge again is that when you are crushing the combs, chances are 99% that you'll kill the queen. When you kill the queen, challenge number three is that the bees must have scored. Yes. You see, bees don't stay anywhere.
Yes. So you still have to go back and start from scratch.
You start from scratch. And the bad thing about it is that you must wait for the next swarming season for other bees now to come in. And actually what happens now is that you end up now harvesting only once, or actually once in a year, which now makes many people not look at it like business. You see, you have waited for the whole year, and now you have just the few kilograms that you have got.
Yes.
You feel so happy that you want to celebrate. And so what you do, you give it to your neighbors, you give it to your friends, and whatever remains in the village, if it's in the village, whatever remains, you make a local brew, and the whole village celebrates. Yes. So in essence, you don't make money. Yeah, but now the beauty about this one, the Langstroth hive, it beats the four main challenges. Like number one, it is separated by the two boxes are separated by the queen excluder, which allows the bees work from the lower chamber, what we call the brooder, and they go up. The queen excluder can allow the bees go up, and they feel also the frames, the bars inside the beehive. But now, the queen will not go up. And the beauty of the queen not going up is that when you come harvesting, you just harvest only the upper box. You don't harvest the lower box.
Okay, so the lower one is left for the queen.
For the queen.
Okay.
Meaning you don't kill the queen. Look at that. And then number two, the honey that is in the lower box, it is their food. Meaning when you harvest today, they will still come and find their food intact. So they don't need to waste time looking for food. And then number three, when you come now harvesting, you just get the frames. And when you get the frames, you don't crush them or cut the combs like you do in the traditional hive. Now you pick the frames and you put in the honey extractor.
Right.
When you put the frames in the honey extractor, then you will rotate the frames.
So the rotation will bring out the honey.
That's it. Meaning now you don't crush the combs. Look at that. You don't crush the combs. Meaning you return them back. And then what will mean is that bees will come and find that the honey is not there, but the combs are just intact. They just feel them immediately.
And can you increase, like, for example, when you're rotating,
yes,
the more you increase the speed,
the faster
is
the honey comes out. And then using now the lower part, which we have the now you put your container down here, your bucket, and then you open it, and the honey now pours in your bucket.
Wow.
At that time, you have been on your bee suit. Of course, you have been on your bee suit.
Yes.
And what it means with your bee suit is that you are fully protected.
Yes.
Then you are also on your gloves. All right.
And one more question about this.
Yes, please.
How does this plastic help? Can you use metal? Can you use, maybe someone can say, I can use a log and then put these things inside. So what is the essence of having the plastic?
Many times people have been using a stainless steel one. It is what mainly is in the market.
Yes.
And but nowadays the innovation has brought about the plastic one. The plastic one has got several advantages. One is very light. to handle, meaning you can handle even your farm is big and your hives are down there in the farm, you can easily carry it and handle it comfortably. And but two, it's not corrosive, meaning the honey will be very, very pure.
Yes.
And number three, which is more important, is that this one is very cheap. It will function 100% more or less in terms of the functionality, like the steel one, stainless steel one. Only that now
It's friendly to the pocket.
that is it now. Yes.
Okay.
Because what we have for the stainless steel one will go for around 35,000 shillings. Now this one, we now have it on offer at 22,000. So you see, there is a huge difference.
There's a difference.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And now, since now we are getting into the conversation about how we extract the things, because
Yes.
we have very many equipments here.
Yes.
Do bees pass through these spaces? What usually
Yes.
happens?
Now, this is the propolis collector. This is the propolis collector.
Yes.
And when you now want to harvest propolis, you would get the beehive the way it is. You would open the lid. And when you have opened the lid, you would get now a plywood, just a normal plywood.
Yes.
The same size with the lid.
This lid.
Yeah, the
over here.
lid.
Yes.
And put it, then you cover. Now, what you're trying to do, we want to play with the psychology of the bee in relation to temperature. The extra plywood increases the temperature in the hive. And then you give it 14 days, you come and remove the lid, remove the plywood, then now you introduce this. All right? And then you cover again with a lid. When you do that, bees come and realize that the temperature has changed.
Yes.
Yes. And when they notice that it has changed, they will be like, oh, what has made the beehive become cooler? So they will go up, and when they see these holes, they will say somebody has come and has destroyed the beehive.
So they'll try to fill the spaces.
The spaces. Now, because now all the attention now will be put on how to reduce the coldness, or rather to finish the coldness. They will stop making honey, concentrate on this. Now, propolis is what they normally use to seal cracks in even a traditional beehive. When a traditional beehive or normal hive cracks, they go to the forest, they get the trees up, and they feel that they now make the propolis. They now make the propolis to seal the cracks. But in this case now, when now they will go now up there and they see the cracks, then they will say somebody has destroyed the beehive. And now they concentrate on filling. And what will happen? They pick each as a crack. So they don't feel horizontally.
Yes.
They feel vertically.
Wow.
Each. And after 14 days, they will have filled something like 1 inch all through.
Wow.
Then you come, you get what we call a scraper, and now you scrap. Now, when you scrap is when now you get now the propolis now, and like for example, what I'm having here.
So this is the propolis.
This is the propolis.
Okay.
Now, propolis had been used many years to treat any challenge, any respiratory challenge. And when you go to the village and you visit somebody who has been doing beekeeping, many a times when you tell him you are coughing or you have got some colds, he would give you a small bit of it to chew. And within 30 or so minutes, you're well.
Okay.
And
All right.
right.
Let me just hold you right there. We
Right.
need to go for a short break.
Right.
But when we come back, Charlo will continue explaining to us about the propolis and how these other products come in. And also, we have very interesting equipment over here. We'll get to know what it's all about. So we're going to go for a short break. Don't go too far. Remember, we are coming back with more with Charlo on just how these other products from beekeeping help us in the society. Don't go too far.